In an alternate universe, where Weyland-Yutani bioweapons research collided with EarthGov's marker experiment, a terrifying hybrid emerged. Recovered from the depths of Aegis 7 was not only the red marker, but a xenoegg unlike any other. Transferred to the science vessel RKV Osiris, the alien embryo was exposed to necrotic energy, creating the ultimate predator, Xenocrosis. It hunts like a xenomorph, it converts like a necromorph, it learns like a virus, and remembers everything.
It began with a signal, weak, buried beneath deep band static, faint, decaying, but unmistakable. A distress call. Command flagged it as a low-priority salvage route. Echo 9 was deployed. 5 crew, 1 objective. Investigate the Osiris and find out what happened.
Stay sharp, Echo 9. We're here for one thing. Grab the data and get out. Don't matter what went down on that ship. Just what's still standing.
Echo 9, a special operations team, handpicked for their discretion. But beneath the calm, some of them carried secrets. The leader, Commander Martinez, had lost family to the marker outbreaks years ago. His anger had never quite faded, and now it fueled his drive to succeed. He would do whatever it took to see the Osiris mission through, no matter what he had to sacrifice. Docking required manual control. The AI refused to sync. The Osiris remained unresponsive. The team breached the hull. Scarred metal. Symbols burned into the armor, not from outside, but from within. Sergeant Shepard, Echo 9's tech specialist, inspected the hull.
What the hell? These markings, they don't look like anything we've seen before. It's almost like the ship's been branded.
The words that escaped her lips lingered in the stale air. Branded. Was the Osiris the victim of something else? Or was it the aggressor? The corridors stretched like veins, pulsating with red strobes. No bodies, only shadows. Scratch marks along the walls. Blood trails leading to sealed rooms. Some doors melted shut, others torn open. Roman, security officer on Echo 9, conducted a forward security sweep.
Something's not right here. Where is everyone? This place feels wrong.
The silence in the ship seemed to mock them. The walls hummed with low, unnerving vibration. It wasn't the ship's systems. It was something biological. The bridge lay in disarray. Consoles shattered. A lawn chair spun endlessly. A corrupted log played on repeat.
Containment failed. Breach deck 3. God help us!
The warning came too late. Systems rebooted without command. Lights returned. Something aboard the Osiris remained active. It wasn't just the systems. The ship itself had become alive. A heartbeat pulsed beneath its walls. Engineer Evans, Echo 9 systems mechanic, examined the damage along the bulkhead.
This place, it's like a tomb. Whatever did this is still here.
The med bay was still. Cryopods broken. Equipment fused with organic matter. Biosigns flat, yet everything seemed alive. Dr. Lewis, Echo 9's medical officer, examined the remains scattered across the deck.
These bodies, they were alive, but something's changed. I can feel it.
The air smelled of chemicals and decay. The walls seemed to breathe. Something was gestating here. A life form, if you could even call it that. It pulsed within its pod, like a heart still beating. Logs retrieved via manual override, hard-coded. When Echo 9 broke the encryption, the ship finally spoke, releasing the records it had tried to bury within its own core. As the team reviewed the data, the truth began to surface. The crew's reports revealed something unimaginable. This wasn't an ordinary experiment. It was the culmination of their darkest ambitions. The Osiris had been the testing ground for something far worse than anyone could have imagined. Subject XN13 was not merely a creature. It was a weapon, but not one they could control. The Osiris was a black-budget vessel equipped for radical bioscience, quietly stationed beyond Sol control. Its crew selected for discretion. The aid was delivered in cryo-sea. It was thought to be inert. They were wrong. Initial analysis revealed cross-species compatibility. Necrotic cells accepted xenotissue. What began as cellular adaptation quickly escalated.
We've spliced regenerative necrotic strands with Phase 3 xeno-DNA. Subject XN13 has shown rapid structural reformation and awareness.
Before they knew it, the experiments had already spiraled out of control. What the Osiris team initially viewed as adaptation was, in reality, evolution on an unnatural scale. XN13 wasn't just adapting, it was becoming something far worse.
Subject exhibits behavior mimicry. It absorbs traits from the deceased.
Subject XN13 escaped on day 14. Not through violence, but precision. It mimicked commands, unlocked its cell, disabled security, all unseen. The escape wasn't the chaos the crew had feared. It was methodical. XN13 understood the ship, understood the crew. It was learning, evolving with terrifying speed.
Subject controls environmental functions. It has mapped our behavior.
Osiris is mine now.
XN13 hunted in silence. It waited, studied, and picked off the crew one by one. Each victim left as a half-transformed warning. It mimicked voices to lure others. It didn't kill for hunger. It killed to understand. The creature was playing with them. It understood their weaknesses, emotional, psychological. It knew how to torment them, how to break them. Each conversion refined it. Limbs restructured for rapid movement. Eyes grafted with sensors. Intelligence grew exponentially. One infected crew member interfaced with the ship's AI. It was no longer adapting, it was integrating. By now, the infected crew were no longer just human. Their neural pathways were connected directly to the creature. They were extensions of its mind. The Osiris became a hive, always pulsed with synthetic organs. Gravity fluctuated by will. Lights flickered in rhythm with its breathing. The ship itself had been overtaken. It was no longer a vessel. It was part of the creature. The walls bled with its evolution, as if the Osiris was now a living entity. 3 crew members initiated core purge protocol. It failed. Bulkhead sealed them inside. In their final moments, they knew the truth. There was no escaping this nightmare. They had been toys in a deadly game, and now they were part of it.
Do you understand what the fuck this means? The Osiris was never meant for no goddamn scientific mission. It was a fucking Black Ops project, and we're stuck smack dab in the middle of it.
I heard it. Oh my god, I heard my sister's voice. It called my name.
The logs ended with a scream. a single human sound that cut through the static. The crew of Echo 9 froze, every one of them recognizing the voice, Dr. Lewis. Then silence, static. Echo 9 regrouped at Junction 7. Only 4 remained. The team was splintering. Fear had already set in. They knew, deep down, they might not leave the Osiris alive. But they pushed forward, because there was no other choice. Systems began failing. Lighting, door control, oxygen cycling. The ship wanted them there. Each malfunction was calculated, each failure deliberate. The Osiris was no longer a machine. It was a trap. XN-13 wasn't solitary. It replicated. Gestation chambers hid behind reactor shielding. The Osiris had become more than a weapon. It was the breeding ground for a new species. And Echo 9 was just another set of prey in its grand design. The crew's final attempt to contain the threat came too late. Reactor overload protocols were initiated, but the Osiris rejected every command. The crew had tried everything, from manual overrides to desperate measures, yet each attempt to stop the escalation was met with failure. The Osiris's system seemed to be learning, adapting, evolving beyond its original programming.
Come on, goddammit! Come on! Why isn't this working? We followed every goddamn protocol!
Martinez's voice trembled, the fear creeping through his words. The usual confidence in his tone faltered, replaced by uncertainty. The walls of the ship seemed to close in around them, a living, breathing entity. The Osiris had become an extension of the creature, Xenocrosis.
We've lost control of the entire system. It's like the ship itself is alive. Every command we make is met with resistance. We can't stop it.
With every failed attempt, the crew's sense of urgency turned into dread. Their last hope, shutting down the reactor before the Osiris reached critical mass, was slipping away. Martinez felt a cold sweat on his brow. They were out of time. He was aware, deeply aware, that whatever happened next, they would not survive this. But he couldn't give up. Not yet. Suddenly, the lights flickered, casting long shadows down metal corridors. The reactor's cooling system strained, then failed. The ship responded not with a roar, but with an unnatural calm. The air grew thick. The walls seemed to pulse with a life of their own. They had failed. The containment protocols weren't designed to stop something like this. The Osiris, with its hive-like nature, its transformed consciousness, had already taken control.
Override failed. Core containment no longer possible. You cannot escape.
In a last-ditch effort to survive, the crew reached the escape pod. But even as they made their way to safety, the Osiris seemed to move with them, its hulls pulsing, shifting as if it were alive, watching them leave. But the Osiris was not done with them yet.
Once we get out, we need to warn someone. We can't just let this happen again.
But even as the words left his mouth, the Osiris sent a shudder through the ship. It was as though it had heard him, understood his plea, and responded with a deep, resonant groan. They had to leave now. They had no choice. Every second they stayed on board, the Osiris tightened its grip. Martinez led the crew to the escape pod. His hands shook, but he maintained control. With a final frantic motion, he activated the pod's launch sequence. As the escape pod's hatch sealed, The crew realized they were no longer escaping. The Osiris wasn't done with them. It was hunting them, even in their final moments aboard. The pod's thrusters ignited, but there was no immediate release. The void of space stretched endlessly before them, but something dark followed them, lurking just out of reach. The last thing they heard as the pod lurched into the unknown was a soft, distorted voice coming through the comms, familiar yet twisted.
You are not alone. We're coming for you.
Days passed in silence. The crew had survived, but they knew their fight was far from over. The Osiris was waiting. The signal, like a beacon, was still out there, broadcasting into the emptiness of space. It was only a matter of time before someone else could hear it, before someone else would fall into its trap. We survived, but I don't know if we won. Not yet. Martinez's voice was barely above a whisper. There was a cold realization setting in. Escaping the Osiris had only delayed the inevitable. They were not the last to encounter it. They were just the first to survive. Somewhere, out there in the deep reaches of space, the Osiris waited. Its call would be heard again, and just as the Osiris had done before, it would consume them, becoming even stronger, even more sentient.
Whoever finds this log, listen closely to everything I'm about to tell you. Do not seek the Osiris. Do not follow the signal. Turn away. For the love of God, please turn away.
The signal persists, faint, broken, but alive. The Osiris waits. Xenocrosis waits. And somewhere in the blackness, the call is bound to be answered again.